Wow. So I did back in the day, the precursor to AZT was Star Search.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be this show called Star Search.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where two comedians would go out, two supermodel girls, two supermodel boys, singers, dancers, and I can't remember if there was another category. I think that was it. Uh-huh. But backstage, I thought it would just be like sort of mellow and people hanging out, artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
It was so competitive. Like parents
Really?
were like, right in there, you're going to go out there, Junior, and you're going to sing your heart, and you're going to win us. Like, and the kids were just like shaking and
Oh, no.
Oh, it was nuts.
Were you there? Were you there alone?
I was there alone, and I was like you. I was just a comedian. Like, I'm not going to do any twirls. And
Did you do well in it?
I won my first one. I got a perfect score.
Wow.
I knocked out the champion.
Whoa.
And then I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm
Yeah.
shaking Ed McMahon's hand. And then I go out for the second round, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to do some new material. So I did some material that I thought up while I was watching Johnny the Porpoise eat his fucking shrimp.
Was it about him?
No, it should have been.
Yeah, then it would have worked.
So I went out and did half new material, half, and then I still did great, but there was one judge who hated me. And for the first time in the history of the show, the producers stopped the whole show because they thought one of the judges made a mistake.
Oh, my God.
I got like a 3.5 from everyone else, and one judge gave me a 0.5. And so I lost to the guy I went up against by half a point.
Oh, my God.
And they said they stopped the show and they went up to the guy. They said, are you sure? Like, did you make a mistake? He goes, no, I don't like that guy. He was like totally blatant about it.
Who was the guy?
He was some DJ from San Francisco. Like this
What
DJ.
an idiot.
Yeah, and so I lost, but the guy I beat with my perfect score, he ended up coming back in by default and winning the whole thing. So I knocked the champion out, but then this guy came back in because based on all the numbers, he had the highest score to come back.
What a disaster.
It was, but it
That's
was
not fair.
Yeah.
That is not fair. So
And-
you didn't love it, your experience.
You know what? I did love it.
You did?
You know, I just look at all this stuff as the stepping stones of life. Like,
yeah.
Like, I think the biggest thrill for me was to meet Ed McMahon.
Right.
Here's a guy I grew up with my whole life. Here's Johnny, you know, and it's like,
yeah.
so, you know, and here I am on TV. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then
Yes.
the real funny thing is the guy that knocked me out,
Yeah.
he did a bunch of like drunk driving jokes, which I thought he'd lose because of it, because it's a family show.
Yeah.
And then no one's ever heard of this guy. And then cut to about 2 years ago, I go to New York and I do the Comedy Cellar for the first time. And, you know, I did what, probably 30 years ago I did Star Search.
Uh-huh.
I finished my set. I walk up. I'm standing on the sidewalk. This guy's standing there like leaning on the... He goes, hey, you're the guy whose ass I kicked in Star Search. Like, and real bitter, like really triumphant, like angry, like, and I'm like,
What?
I look and it was the guy. It was the guy that I lost to on Star Search. And he was like, he was still holding on to it.
Was he even a comedian anymore?
He was on the same, he was on
the
before
show?
me. And
You can't say who it is?
I don't even, that's how insignificant. And that's what I almost went to say to him. And you are, because he never went on to do anything. Like he just still did stand up, but
And that's his claim
cockiness,
to fame.
I don't know, but I was just in my head. I was like, "What that?" Like the fact he almost sounded bitter and triumphant. It was
That's
the weirdest.
so sad.
It was so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all just showbiz.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I would
man.
never go up to him and be like, remember, bring the funny.
Yeah, I know. 30 years later, like it was just bizarre.
No.
And meanwhile, that was the beginning of my career. Like I hadn't done a movie yet. I hadn't done like that was one of my first credits ever. And then I went on to do many things, and I never saw this guy in anything. And here he is, like Mr. Sour Grapes. I didn't know.
Did you watch his set? Was he even?
He was actually hilarious.
Oh, he was?
Like, he went on before me, and I was like, wow, this guy. Like he super impressed me. He was killer. He was confident. He was fun. Like I was like, this guy is great. And then when I came out, he was just the biggest douche bonnet. And I was like, oh, well, I almost want to say, let it go, dude.
Yeah,
But
jeez.
yeah, but I have nothing bad to say about him. He was hilarious.
I'ma do my stuff.